Hello people, this is Budrich. It's a new episode of Let's Linux that we call Workspace Wallpapers. And today we're gonna finally add the functionality to dynamically set the wallpapers depending on which workspace we are currently viewing. And this will be the last of the workspace series for now, at least. I open up Sublime here. I found a little bug. You remember we created this get pid script here. I found that we need to add this to check that it's not the script itself, because if we search for example i3listen.py from the terminal, then that terminal or that process will also be added to the list. That's why we got multiple numbers and stuff. But now with this adding $0 here, and $0 is the name of the script that is running, kind of. By adding that and making sure that is not part of that line, then we don't get weird errors, because this was cause of some problems that I have encountered. Okay. Doesn't matter, the correct file, you will never see the wrong file in the repositories, but if you just copy pasted what I wrote in a video, then you will have the wrong. But this is the correct way to get the PID of a script. Okay. And we have our little workspace indicator here. If we go to workspace 2, it changes to the... Yeah, you know, what we did in the last video. In this video, we will not change any indicator, we will change the wallpaper. And I think I want to separate this completely from this indicator script, because there are several reasons for that. The important thing is that in our listen script here is that every time a new workspace get focus, it calls the hook here, which activates our indicator script. We could add just a new call here and call a script that is unrelated of Polybar that just handles this workspace wallpapers instead. It's good to separate functions and scripts, and sometimes it's very good. One reason is that if we would add this, we could of course add this functionality to this script that changes the indicator. We could add build on this and also change wallpapers and stuff. But let's say we got an error when we change the wallpaper or some other weird output, then that output would be printed in Polybar, and we really don't want that. We want to have full control over the output here. So let's create a new script. There are two things we have to do here, but I think I want to show you the error before we fix it. You have no idea what I'm talking about here now, but first we could duplicate this line, and instead of calling this, because this call, that's like a Python command, I think we get it here. Yeah, you can see subprocess import call. I'm not 100% sure exactly how this stuff works, but it works, so let it work. So we start by doing this. We call a new script, and this script is workspace wallpaper switcher, we can call it. I copy this, and then we have to create that script with our autoscript script. Like that. Now we have this WSB switcher script here. We save our listener script, and just to see, whatever, let's keep it like this. We also need, now we're gonna change wallpaper depending on which workspace we are looking at. So we need a couple of things. We need some kind of we need some wallpapers, and we need a command that switches wallpapers. And there are different programs to do this. You use your favorite one. I use a program that's called hsetroot, And then there are different options, but this will work. Hset root fill, and then a wallpaper. You can see here, this is my wallpaper folder. You can take this morning blood. I don't know exactly how it looks like, but something should happen. So if I save here now, and if we reload our listener script, then we can do that with our polybar start. Like that. So now if I switch workspace, then it will both update the indicator, but it will also call this WSP switcher script. And that is not dynamic at all now. It will always change to this morning blood wallpaper. So let's see if this works by switching workspace to workspace 2. And as you can see, it changed the wallpaper to this morning blood here. And it does so every time it changes workspace. Okay, that's good. One way we could do this is similar to this method by creating an array, and then depending on which workspace is activated, just get the array index corresponding to that, and then have some sort of default wallpaper. So yeah, and I think we do something like that. What is this now? Thought to remove this. Here we have it. So maybe we do it this time. I suggest that you create one variable that you can call default wallpaper, or WP, or whatever you want. So this will be the default, and then we could create an array. Let's call it array wallpaper. And then we can make 3 examples here for now. And then we just take some random wallpapers here. Nuclear control can be one. We can take Ormbunke can be another. And this painted Japanese owl can be the third one. Like that. And then we would like here now to we could either copy, you know, our good old AWK script, parse the output of the get workspaces and stuff. But the reason we were using this in the first place, remember in Python we talked a bit about it. When the workspace changes, we ping our polybar hook, and when we do so, we cannot send any values. We can just choose which hook we are pinging, but we cannot. It would have been nice if we could use the workspace number, because we have that information inside our event here. But it's not possible to do that in that fashion when we are using polybar hooks. But now we're not using a hook. Now we're calling our own script here, and then it is possible to send as an argument the workspace number that we are switching to. But this is a very, very weird syntax, and you can probably do it in a better way than I am doing now, because I don't really know Python. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just typing stuff till it works. And this is one way that worked for me. So you put in a plus sign, because we want to call this with and add some argument. And then for some reason you can only add arguments from a list. And then we have event.current.num. That will be the number of the current workspace, the one that has got focus, the new workspace, so to speak. But this is a number, and for some reason you cannot pass a number. You have to it have to be a string within an array or a list or whatever Python call this. So to convert this to a number, we add the format function here, and this this weird command here should pass the number. If I'm not 100% sure if this will work now, but I think so. So we can here now in our WSP switcher script here create a variable called current workspace is equal to $1, and $1, you know, that's the first argument, which is what we will get from our listener script, the Python script, which will be the current workspace that just got focus. And then we can do just like we did in this guy here, something similar. We can copy this since it's so similar, or maybe not. We type it in from the beginning. This is the command to set wallpaper, and the wallpaper we want to set is one of the array elements, and the index of that array element is the current workspace number. If that number doesn't have an array element, we set a default value here, and that default is the default wallpaper. So then we type it like this, default WP. So now this should work. I think we have to restart our listener yet once again. And now if we go to workspace 2, we should get the Ormbunke wallpaper, this one. Workspace 3 is the owl, and workspace 1 is the nuclear control wallpaper, and all other workspaces will have the wallpaper that we are looking at now. So let's see if this works by going to workspace 2. It doesn't work. Something is wrong with probably the Python listener script here, but luckily I have a little sheet here. This is how it should be written. I don't know what we did wrong here. It looks right. Yeah, it looks really right. What we can do is get pid i3listen.py, and then kill that because I want to see the output of this listener script in the terminal, and then we run it from here. So i3listen.py. I will switch now workspace to 2. At least the indicator works. But here there is some syntax error. Error token is something wrong with opening the. Maybe the Python works, and then we have a problem here. You know what? Now I'm gonna use a program that we haven't looked into at all. It's called Notify Send, and it uses a notification daemon that's called Dunst or Send, and it's to see notifications, and it sometimes is a good way to debug scripts like this, because these scripts we cannot see the output in a terminal in a good way. So by doing this, it looks right, because now every time I change, it notifies me with this. Let's see. Run this then. This doesn't work. Something is wrong in this line. See here, we forgot a dash. That's the problem. Now it should work. Yeah. So that was the error all all along, and this is how it is when you program. It can be just one character can break the whole script, but it's not really broken, it doesn't crash, so it can be hard to find bugs like this. But now it should work. Now it should set workspace 2 to Urmbunke, and yeah, whatever, let's try it. Let's go to workspace 2. We got this wallpaper, workspace 3. This wallpaper, workspace 2. We got the Urmbunke again, and workspace 1. We get the space control, workspace 3. Owl, workspace 1. Space control, workspace 4. This, workspace 5. This, workspace 4. This, workspace 3. This. Okay. So it seems to work. It works good enough. So if you wanted to, you could just ride with this, you know, and then change. When you want to change wallpaper, you have to change them in this array here, and then that will always be set when you are at that workspace. But I was thinking a bit while I was thinking about how to make this video, and I would actually like to add a function here to make this actually usable, because I think that most people would never use this, you know. Because what if you set your wallpaper, for example, let's just take one here, and then we run hset root fill and this wallpaper, palm trees synth. And now we have this at workspace 1. If we go to workspace 2, we get the Urmbunke. Workspace 1, now we get this. It doesn't remember. So if we change wallpaper from somewhere, then we have to every time go in and change that manually in this array here somehow. It's very, very tedious and inconvenient way to do it. So we need some kind of memory, so to speak, to remember to we know which wallpaper is set on each workspace and check if that wallpaper exists and blah 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 blah. And I have actually a way to do this, a memory for i3. This only works for i3. It's called i3 var. It's part of the i3 as suite, and it's a small little script that creates a variable, we can call it, but it's actually a mark that exists on a hidden window on the scratchpad. This information is important, you will see soon why. It will create just a stupid dummy window on the scratchpad and then add a mark which will be treated like a variable when used with this i3 var. So then we can store the wallpaper for each workspace in that variable. And check that also and stuff. So let's do that. And for this to be usable, we should create yet another script to handle this operation, this setting wallpaper, and that when we do so, we will also set the variable. So. Then we create yet another script with our autoscript command here, and let's call this set wallpaper, like set WP. Easy peasy. And the way I want this to work is that you call set WP and a path to a image that you want to set as your wallpaper, and that wallpaper will be set, and it will also create this variable and different variable names depending on which workspace is active. And by doing so, we will remember which and know which wallpaper is set. So first we can create a variable called target wallpaper or something, and inside that we have $1, which will be a path to an image. Then we need this command, you know, to set the wallpaper, but instead of this weird stuff here, we just enter target wallpaper. So this will actually work. We can save this and we can select a wallpaper here, panda puke, set wp panda puke, and it sets panda puke. But it doesn't create that variable thing that we were talking about. The command that does this, it's called i3var, I think I said so, and it's very simple. You either run i3var set, and then the name of the variable you want to set, and then the value of that variable. If it's blank, then it removes the variable if it exists. It can be good to know. Or if you run it with i3var get and then a variable name, you will get the value of that variable. So it's very simple. The advantages of using this is that the variables are persistent and they live on the scratchpad on a workspace. So you can always access them as long as the i3 session is active. But when you log out, then those windows are destroyed and the variables are gone forever. Okay, so to set this variable, we just do i3var set, then the variable name. We can call this workspace wallpaper. And here we would need, because we want to create variables for each workspace, so it's different variables for each workspace. We need the number of the current workspace, and this command, it will be activated. It doesn't have to be from the i3 listen and stuff, so we need to run something like this to get the workspace number. But it's this is a very fast command, so we remove this. We don't need the array, we just need the current workspace. We don't need the count here. We don't need this blank space. We don't need to count. We are just interested in the focused workspace number, and we call it current workspace. So the variable name will be wswp and then current workspace. You could even put this within quotes. It's good to do that, but it's not mandatory. And then the value of that variable will be target wp here. And after we have set that, then we will set the wallpaper with this. And now I think you might see this issue that we have to take care of in our listener script. Let's select another wallpaper, P. Floyd Animals here, for example. Many say it's Pink Floyd's best album. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Set WP P. Floyd Animals. And you see, it didn't set P. Floyd Animals here now. It's for some reason it set the nuclear control wallpaper, and I will explain why. i3var, it actually, as I mentioned, it creates a window and just an empty dummy window on the scratchpad. And when we are creating a window on the scratchpad like this, that will actually activate this workspace listener here. So we have to add a little check here to make sure that it's not related to the scratchpad, so to speak. And I have copied here this little question is what's needed. So we just add this. And this is like event old num. This is like current num, that is the new workspace that's activated, but the old num, that is the old where we came from, so to speak. And this actually activates when a workspace gets focus, and it does so because it focuses scratchpad sometimes when it at least when it creates windows and stuff on it. So this checks if the old workspace was the scratchpad, then don't do anything. If it's not, That's what this exclamation mark here is. So if the old workspace wasn't scratchpad and the event is focused, then do this stuff. But if it is the scratchpad, then don't do it. Yeah, you get it. And this is why it set the wallpaper to this nuclear controls. Polybar start, and this, you know, reloads both the listener script and the bar. And now if I set wallpaper to Pink Floyd Animals, it will set it without bouncing around like that. And now we can also see our it have set this i3 variable, i3 var, you know. And we can see that by either i3 message -t, then get marks. Here you can see this variable that we have created. I have a way to print the output in a cleaner way. So here we can see this is how the i3 vars looks like. And if we run this command, i3 var get, and then the name of the variable we want to get, you see it returns the value of it. And this is a way to know what is set on each workspace. So now we just we have to use this set WP script when we set the wallpaper. And we should actually use that even in our WSWP switcher here. So instead of this command, we use set wallpaper. But what we are doing now is we extend this script a bit to get to see if a wallpaper is set with the and the variable exists. Current wallpaper, we can call this, and that will be the output of this command, i3 var get WSWP, and then CWS, which is the current workspace, which we get from our listener script. So this variable will contain the current wallpaper if one is set. And then we check here if -n, that means if this variable has any value. If it's empty, then this will not be valid. So if no wallpaper is set, then this is false. But if it is true, then we set the wallpaper to the content of that variable, which will be, the wallpaper that is set. But if it doesn't exist, this variable or this i3 var, then we will set wallpaper to one of the array elements, and if that element doesn't exist, take the default wallpaper. And now it will use set WP, so it will also store that in the variable. So this should work now. If I go to workspace 2, it didn't work. I think the listener script isn't running. Maybe something is wrong with it. py. Yeah, this is not correct. Syntax, as I have said many times, I am not 100% sure on how to write Python. So let's do it this way. There have to be some way to write this on a single line. But we can also do this. This should work, but it's a lot uglier. I have to learn more Python, but this is how you learn, you know, just fiddle around. Now it works. And now if we go to workspace 2, changes to the Urmbunke. Workspace 1, it's the Pink Floyd, it's not the nuclear controls. Workspace 3, it have the owl. Workspace 4 have the leaves, and workspace 5 also have the leaves. Or workspace 5. This isn't workspace 5. Remember, I only have 4 workspace key bindings in my i3 config, so these are the only 4 I can change to. But now it seems to work. And if we are on workspace 2 here, for example, and I bring up, we do this, go to workspace 2, open this, and then we just select wallpaper, this pineapple tile wallpaper, for example, set WP, and then I set it with this. This will update the variable, and now if we go to workspace 1, we have the Pink Floyd animals wallpaper, and on workspace 2, now it have the pineapple, workspace 3, it have the owl. So now it have like a memory, and as long as we use set WP now to set our wallpapers, it will create the variable that we need and stuff, so it will remember, and then you can set individual wallpapers whenever you want on a workspace by using this technique. And I think I'm happy with that, and that we end this video here. But I can add that this is just a little taste of what to come, because I am working on a wallpaper lock screen manager thing that will generate lock screens and fix the wallpapers and manage them in a way. So, but we will, even if one would use that, we need to set something like this up to be able to switch independent workspaces and wallpapers. But together with that new script, that might be even cooler. And if you have some imagination and fantasy imagination, you know, you can use Mondo and set some lists of wallpapers or whatever to use with different themes. And you have lots of options now to make a really cool dynamic setup. But it's up to you a bit. But I will make more videos that I don't know when this. You know, you're never done. Don't start rising. You will never be satisfied. But now you have an idea how you could do this. There are other approaches one could take, but this is the one I have chosen to do today. I actually just invented this with the set WP. I don't even use it in my own setup. I don't personally, I don't care about wallpapers at all. I use on my personal setup, I have just Scanlice and a single color, and then Scanlice, and I generate the wallpaper from my color theme actually. And I don't care at all about picture wallpapers. I think it's stupid and just distracting. But you know, I'm on the spectrum, so that's how I work. But if you like wallpapers, this is a way you could do it. I say thank you for watching. I hope I see you in the next video. I don't know when it will be up and what it will be about, but I hope it will be interesting, and I hope I see you then. Have a great day, my friend. Bye bye.